Now we're going to dive into specifics about the different social media platforms. We aren't going to cover every single one that exists today, but we are going to cover the ones that make up most of the market share of social media. So first up, Facebook, probably the one that the majority of people are familiar with. Facebook is huge. There's over 1.5 billion monthly active users, which is pretty incredible. And users share 1 million links every 20 minutes. So this is a great location if you really want to share information. So some pros, like I said, most use social media platform with over 1.5 billion users a month. And it lends well to engagement with people because you're able to like photos, you can comment on anything, whether that's photos, a status, a link that you've shared, and you can also share posts. So that means that your stakeholders can share the posts that you share, that you've put on your page, so that it's reaching even further in the audience, or you can easily share others' posts. So if say BossNet posted something that you were interested in sharing, it's easy as clicking the share button. Facebook pages also let you share basic information as well as updates. So on your page, you can have your hours of operation, you can have your phone number, a link to your website, but also you can update consistently what you want to share with them. And you can promote your post to reach a wider audience. So that does cost money to promote it. If you use Facebook, you'll see those ads that pop up sometimes in the middle of your newsfeed, but you can promote. Some drawbacks to Facebook is that any negative feedback is highly visible. If one person gives you 1 star on your business page, it's going to stay there. Like I said, with the promoting your post, you might need to invest in paid advertising or promoting if you're having trouble getting likes or more engagement. And Facebook is most successful when you interact with users. So that's responding to their comments, liking their posts, those different pieces. And it also can take a while to build followers. Like I said at the beginning, it's great to get people to sign up for your pages when you jumpstart them, but it can take some time to build that followership. When you're using Facebook, as I'm going to say with all of these different tools, it's important to think about which stakeholders would utilize Facebook most. And I have to say that Facebook, it kind of catches almost everybody. People from all ages are using Facebook, maybe a little less so at the under 18 age, but that's probably not necessarily who you're trying to reach with your social media. So stakeholders are great because a lot of businesses have them, so you can interact with your donors. A lot of people personally have them, so you can have them like it and interact with your Facebook page that way. And so Facebook reaches a lot of people. Granted, most of those people are going to not necessarily be on their professional Facebook page when they like your page, unless it's other organizations interacting with yours. So some best practices with Facebook is to always post at the right time of day for your audience. The shares generally spike from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m., and you can certainly test this. If you're mostly interacting with parents and community members, and you know that the majority of your families work during the day, 12 p.m. might not be the best time, but you can test it because maybe that's when people are eating lunch, checking their Facebook, and sharing the information. So thinking about, just like we talked about with emails, when the best day to post is. One of the nice things about Facebook is that organizations who posted every other day had 32% higher like rates and 73% higher comment rates compared to those who posted 3 or more times a day. So people on Facebook, if your organization's there, you don't necessarily need to be posting all the time, but posting every other day actually will get you more engagement. Also with Facebook, it's great to put images up. People like to look at pictures, and it will get you 39% more engagement. So another best practice is to engage in conversations with your followers, which is great on Facebook because the comment and reply is very simple, very easy. when you're on your Facebook, definitely like other organizations in your network, encourage them to like you so that they're getting information about you, you're getting information about them, and that's just another organization that you're engaging with. It's important to space out your posts. You don't want to have them all at once because that will seem overwhelming and people likely won't see them. And one really interesting best practice that comes up a lot is that you should post images to your newsfeed before your album. So if you have a picture, post it on your newsfeed and then add it to the album later because it will engage more people when it's showing as part of your newsfeed rather than an album. And then there's Twitter. Twitter definitely has some pros and cons as well. It has the largest penetration in the US, but it really is spreading to other countries, so that's interesting. Also, there's over 9,000 tweets that happen every second, which I find just incredible. And there are 289 million active users, which means people who are on it frequently and don't just have an account and don't use it. So some of the good parts about Twitter is that the character limit for each tweet being 140 characters means that you have to be concise and get to your point. Retweeting also allows followers to spread your content very quickly. Hashtags are a lot of fun. Sometimes you can have one that's connected to your program all the time, and so that will get other people to start using it, which then connects to your program as well. Also, sometimes they can be silly and people enjoy that. It's posted in real time, so you can send out posts very frequently. It won't seem overwhelming. It's just kind of the nature of Twitter, which does require more time. We'll come to that as one of the cons. And promoted tweets don't stand out as much because they fit in the timeline just normally, so they don't necessarily look as big. Twitter's nice because it allows your customers to directly interact with you. It's much more interactive. Some of the cons to Twitter is that it's more popular with younger demographics, which we say is a con because we're making the assumption that you aren't necessarily working to getting towards kids. But if you were looking to up your enrollment, say in your middle school program, Twitter might be the way to go. It also requires more time because, like the quote says, the life of a tweet is so short. It's there, but once 10 more people post above it, it's just 10 more down. So it does require a lot more time. And since it's real time, if you don't have time to post frequently, your followers just might not see it. And also, everything is public. So with Twitter, you're likely just getting out quick information or using it to connect with other people on Twitter or participating in Twitter chats, which is great. Some best practices are that you need to post frequently. The average life of a tweet is only about 2 hours, and then likely nobody's going to see it. The most retweets happen at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so utilizing that 5 p.m. time to post something is going to be when you're most likely to be seen. But also remembering, probably other people know this statistic and are posting then as well, so it can get lost there. You should also make sure that you're tracking terms related to your organization. There's free software out there to look for that. And using hashtags, which I mentioned before. Tweeting 5 times a day is ideal, so it is something that takes a little longer. And when you retweet others' posts, be sure to include their Twitter handle to show them that you're connecting it to them. Instagram is a social sharing site that's focused only around pictures and now quick videos as well. So this is nice because it's just pictures, that's all. They have over 300 million active users, and there's a lot of use of hashtags on this platform. So some great things about Instagram is that it's one of the fastest growing platforms. It's very intuitive and easy to use, and it's fun because really the focus is the picture, and you can include text with your picture, but really what people are looking at is that quick picture, really scrolling through it probably pretty quick and want to engage in the picture. Also, hashtags are great. They're utilized on there a lot. You can look up hashtags that could be related to your youth development field. It could be related to your program, or you can make them up on your own. Some downsides is that you can't post links in individual posts. You can post a link in your profile, but then people have to be redirected there. You can only post on a mobile device, so this isn't something you can do from your computer. And you can't share unless you have Regram. So that is still kind of in the works. So with Instagram, your stakeholders are probably people focused on the picture, on seeing like the excitement. That will most likely be your families, maybe your funders if they're interested in seeing where their funding's going. So some best practices, show behind the scenes information and always follow your followers back. Using industry-related hashtags keeps you connected with those other people. If somebody clicks on the hashtag, they'll see your pictures connected with those other pictures in the search. And it's important to balance fun images with business-focused pictures. So that could be pictures of people working on something. It could be a team brainstorming session for the more business side. And then fun might be activities that have been going on with the kids, artwork, that sort of thing. Also, it's great to share exclusive content on Instagram, showing a picture, and it can either have the caption on it can be something, you know, kind of suspenseful about it. Stay tuned to see more about this next week, or just sharing information. A great best practice is to use fill in the blank posts to start conversations. So having a picture of maybe the summer camp, saying my favorite summer camp memory is blank, share in the comments, and getting people to engage that way. And post consistently, but do whatever works for your organization. From Union Metrics, they found that there's no relationship between frequency of posts and engagement. But if posting frequency declines over time, then people become less engaged. So really choose how frequently you're going to post and stick to it, and don't go backwards from there. LinkedIn, definitely we could argue the most professional of the social media platforms that we're talking about. So some pros to LinkedIn, it's very professional and it establishes credibility, especially if you're connecting with other organizations in the field, other experts in the field, connecting with organizations focused on youth development. It's nice because there's a natural segmentation by industry. You're unlikely to have to drift into something that isn't so relevant. And again, you can share basic information and news updates. Some downsides is there's normally less interaction, there's smaller population of users, and it's really more professional and not very social. So the stakeholders who use this, users are generally older professionals, and so likely your LinkedIn account will be utilized to connect with industry organizations, so people like After School Alliance or the United Way or National After School Association, and linking in with those people. Also maybe companies that are your donors. Best practices, definitely make good connections and share your content. Make sure you're networking with similar organizations. Some good relevant updates could include recent projects or collaboration, any new products or features, or any news coverage about your organization. Like I mentioned, it's important to join relevant industry groups like the NAA or After School Alliance, as I mentioned. And content should always be written professionally, similar to like your website or something like that, whereas the other social media platforms that we talked about can be a little more relaxed. YouTube are only one on the list that focuses on videos. Is a great platform to utilize if you have the permissions to share the videos from your program. Some pros are that videos are more likely to be shared or go viral. I'll give you the example of there was a program in Waltham that had posted a anti-bullying rap video, and I don't follow them on Facebook, but on my own personal Facebook page, somebody from Washington State had shared their YouTube video. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my gosh, I know the people in that video. And so I was excited to contact the organization and say, hey, your video's gone viral. Somebody else posted this, and that's how I found it. It also puts a face to your organization, and it's the third most popular website behind Google and Facebook. Videos also have a wide reach. You don't really need to engage with the viewer too much. It's just posting your video and sharing it with them. Some downsides are that good quality videos are often difficult to make, and sometimes your competitors might show up in the related videos tab that shows on the right-hand side of the screen. But I will say that the idea of quality video being something people look for on YouTube is happening less and less. People are becoming more okay with the not as professional looking videos. So some best practices, use your company Google ID for your accounts, not your personal Google accounts. And try to stick to under 2 minutes per video. People drop off very quickly if they're trying to just watch for fun or information. You want to try to catch their attention the first 10 seconds. And that's how you're going to hopefully get them to watch through the video. You should also add a subscription widget under the video, so then if somebody subscribes, anytime that you add a new video, they're going to get an email about it and they're more likely to see it. Also, promote your YouTube on all other social media and your website. If you make a new YouTube video, post a link to it on your Facebook page. Remind people to subscribe to your YouTube video from your website, because people are probably unlikely to go to the YouTube page just to see the video, so it really needs to be promoted in other areas. So as we've seen, there's a lot of different social media platforms that you can utilize, and they have different pros, different cons, and they reach different people. So how you use them, or which one you choose, will really depend on the time you have to commit to it, what kind of content you have to go into it, and also what kind of people you're hoping you'll reach there. If you're likely to just post pictures, then Instagram's a great thing to use. If you're looking to engage with people a little bit more, then you probably want to lean towards Twitter or Facebook. And so thinking about those different pieces and what you really want to get out of them, because your question with social media always should be, what is my goal for this? Similar to the newsletter information that we're talking about in this course. You want to think about, what's my goal, who am I trying to reach, and how am I going to reach that goal? So I encourage you to think about these different social media platforms. Think about what works best for your program and what works best for your stakeholders, the people who will be viewing your social media. And also, if you're already using a certain social media, are you utilizing these best practices? Or is there something new that maybe you can bring to there, a new idea?